you, Tatiana Tate. That's the
Wow.
first musical lead-in we've had here on Live Chat.
Wow.
That was pretty cool.
Wow.
Thank you very much. I'm Steve Lowry. I'm the editor of The High Low. Today, we're talking to three performers who will be at the Uptown Jazz Festival this Sunday. You can view it online at 3 p.m. It's going on for the 9th straight year. Up there, you see our good friend, Scott Griffith. Scott is, as he said, dressed as his favorite Bible character. We don't know which one, but it's looking good. You just heard wonderful Tatiana Tate, part of the Tatiana Tate Quartet. That was a terrific lead-in. Thanks, Tatiana.
Thank you for having me. And
of course, Philosophy, who is a spoken word artist and poet. I saw him last when we did something with Councilman Rex Richardson at City Hall. That we had a beautiful kind of Black History Month presentation. Philosophy performed there and blew everybody away. It was very cool.
Wow.
Nice to have you, my man.
You are very kind for saying that. Thank you so much.
No, you're great.
Thank you for that.
All right, and of course, I should mention that Rex Richardson's office has a lot to do with the Jazz Festival surviving this year and going ahead. This, of course, is a tough year if you're a performer because you can't do anything live. So I'm going to start with you, Philosophy. What is it like this year? Because musicians will always tell me there's a huge difference between playing and performing. What's it been like for you?
True. For me, it's one of those things where you have to truly dig deep within the spirit when it comes to writing and performing on Zoom, because you don't have that magnetic energy that the crowd would usually bounce off of you. In order for you to, like as a community, have that bounce back, it's a feeling of like, once you've done a cartwheel, that magnitude of energy that's in you, that's the energy that you have when you throw it into the crowd. They throw it back to you. It's like crowd surfing. And now when you don't have that, it's quiet as like a pin dropping in the middle of the ocean. Like no one hears it. So you're grasping to what that feels like. Like where is the humanity when you're saying a poem through Zoom? Like it starts to feel like destitute, hollow a little bit. But then you realize as the artists, what we do this for is to give. So we're still able to give our gifts in the quiet where we don't know who's listening. But at that same time, you don't know how infinite your voice goes when it is on Zoom. Like you do a show, you look out into the crowd, okay, you're like, oh, there's 100 people here, there's 200. You do it over Zoom, it could be 300,000 people that are now touched by something you have said. So for me, it's actually like the duality of being. You know, it's like there's a portion of it that it's just like it's the gratitude of being able to share the art, and then there's the other portion that it's like it anchors you down like with sadness that you can't be among the people.
And Scott, that's a great, Boxcar 7 is very popular locally. I know when we've done our best of, you guys get unbelievable amounts of love. I can imagine as the singer, Scott in an email said, I'm just the singer. And I said, so was Marvin Gaye. And he said, I'm not Marvin Gaye. And I said, okay, I went a little far with that one. But anyways, what's it like? You guys really, I think, do depend on this connection you have with your audience, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The artist audience connection is a symbiotic relationship. And I really have to thank you for allowing me to follow the very eloquent philosophy, because my words are going to appear as stumble bumps flowing freely from my mouth after the wonderful, you know what I mean? It's a symbiotic relationship. I give and they give back. But I found that there's times when I'm in the moment, in the music, even in rehearsal, where my spirit is elevated. Music takes me to a place that I can't get to on my own. And like, as I said before, I'm just a singer. The beautiful Miss Tatiana can testify to being at a completely higher level because she can be in the moment for so much longer than I can. music takes me to a almost spiritual place where it's not quite within my being. I'm getting like the chicken bumps right now just talking about it. So that's there, but it's also I'm one of those people in this world that seek the approval of total strangers. That's how I wound up being a lead singer. It's a strange thing if you can't relate to it. I see these two beautiful people nodding their head, going, "Yeah, I know what you mean, man."
I don't think they're
I
the
don't
only
know.
two that understand. Yeah.
If you let me, I'll talk all afternoon about this. So I'm going to stop myself right now.
Let's hold on. We'll pace ourselves here. Tatiana, you play jazz, and everyone knows that jazz, it has an improvisational aspect to it. And I imagine that improvisation many times depends on the audience you are playing to, that they become something that becomes incorporated in what you're doing. Is there a difference when you are playing, what that situation is like when there is a crowd and there is not a crowd?
Well, to start off, first of all, I definitely think during quarantine, I benefited by having a lot of gigs and opportunities. I've performed with Janice White, Jazz Concertino, also with Fernando Pulo, and I've been doing a lot of studio work. And overall, I feel like quarantine has challenged me positively as a musician. So when it comes to like improvisation and performing, I'm often thinking to myself, well, what can I do over this video that will catch the audience member's attention? Although there isn't a reaction from someone physically, I get reactions out of myself. So I definitely
Yes.
think that's the biggest thing that's been happening. Oh, I liked how I played. Oh, I like how I did that. Let me do it again. And honestly, I feel like it takes the fear aspect out of, well, someone might not approve, they might not like it because it's just me and a camera. So personally, I definitely feel like I have benefited from this experience.
Can I ask each of you? Let's start with Scott this time. Obviously, you can't go out and play live or anything like that. So when people are tuning in Sunday to see what's going on, how have you and Boxcar 7 gone about presenting what you're going to do?
Well, we went down to the studio and we shot some live songs, and we had the best time that we could have. And I tried to light up the room because I tell you what, in that moment, I was absolutely lit up. I was having the most fun that I can have as a human being on this planet in that moment. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Seeing is that we're a very large band. We haven't done any shows as a group since the 1st of March.
Right.
So,
have you
the
guys been
venues
getting
that
together, Scott? Have you guys been getting together though?
We've been getting together for different reasons, but as a group, the first time that we played together was warming up for this concert. And it's painful to have it ripped away from you. But I sure was happy to do it. Yeah.
Philosophy, now you're a kind of a lone wolf. You do your own thing, so you can do it anytime you want. I'm curious, during this time, do you have a lot of people reaching out to you saying, look, man, I could use some soothing words these days. Things are tough. Are people reaching out to you asking for that?
Yeah. Absolutely. It's one of those things like, yes, I am the lone wolf. I'm like Los Lobos, but in the same right, I run with a pack of wolves, which is Long Beach Never Speaks. We are a collective of Long Beach poets and artists, right? So in that, I've checked my Instagram and like my DMs, and then people are Facebooking me, and then I'm getting text message and emails, because at this time, people are reaching out to like some type of lifeboat that can allow them to keep their heads above water, because with so much sadness, with the Black Lives Matter movement and with COVID-19, like we're having so many losses. There's not a lot of W's. Don't have a lot of wins. So in that part, sometimes people do reach out to the voice where they feel has that calming chamomile effect on them, right? And so at this point, I got these messages. And by doing that, I've sat in my quiet, I've sat in my candles, I've sat in my like Jay-Z Black Album, and I've continued to write
Yeah.
and writing about everything that I can touch around me so that people know we will survive this together as a community. We will come out of this shining as a star. We will be a lighthouse of positive energy. Through the writing, I'm able to convey these things so people don't have to look around and say, I am alone in this. And
Let me
whenever
ask
we
you
can
about
get,
that.
go ahead.
Philosophy, let me ask you, you said you're, because I was going to ask this, you are writing a lot these days. Is there a theme
Yes,
right now to
yes.
what you're writing? Is it inspirational? Is it about, man, this is kind of a bad time? What do you find yourself writing mostly these days?
Well, I find myself writing on that spectrum because I'm not always political. I'm not always in love. I'm not always a comic, but I am a multifaceted human being. And that's how the writing comes out. There are some days where I am saddened by the situation that the world is in, and I write within that sadness. But I am a person that is rooted in positive energy. So therefore, that positive energy light will always shadow that sadness and become one of those things that like burns the overcast of the way I'm feeling off. Therefore, when people hear these poems, they are uplifted. So I don't write in one pigeonholed genre of poems. I
Right.
write from who I am, of the perspective of the human I am.
Do you have anything you've been working on recently you might want to just give us a little taste, a little something?
Well, it's yeah,
Cool.
I can do that. So here's what we'll do. You ready?
Okay. Yep.
She is God's blueprint of a woman, the majesty of Eve's body without fig leaves, a carbon copy of heaven's rest haven. She has mastered the beauty of angels and radiates sunsets with her being, but she is human. Her flaws are what make her flawless. She relates relationships to the life and times of magazines, reading through lies and trust issues. Even angels' wings are fragile. Fractured too many times, flying becomes difficult. Wind blows through broken wings, span too brittle to stand. Weak like 7 days with flu symptom. The heat beats, kerosene on flame, body aches with every inch of movement. Tears move to suicide, finding freedom on her face. The only freedom she will face is soaring. Flying becomes descending, falling from cumulus clouds, feathers ripple from skyline, wings too hindered to heal, too holy to fly. God help me hold her in my arms, spiraling at the speeds that exceed the speed of light. She lit my life and shine, since I, like Adam, lays on her, and her, like Eve, a body part of me. So that piece right there,
Oh, by the way,
in light
bravo.
of,
And I'll be, by the way, I
oh,
just want to be upfront. I'll be ripping that off next Valentine's Day. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
thank you.
Maybe I wrote
But
that
in the
all
times that
myself.
we're
Yeah.
in now, thank you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In times like now, it's like a lot of times when I go to write the story of like Breonna Taylor, because what has happened, I step back, I write that, and then secondly, I say, where is the love? Where can we find the love for Breonna Taylor? Where can we find the love for someone that looks like her, that looks like me, for humanity as a whole? And so in that, I write the love. So that
Great.
comes from writing the love.
Beautiful, man.
That's a
Tatiana,
beautiful poem.
yes, gorgeous. Tatiana is
Thank you.
not only playing and a
Thank you.
local musician, but Tatiana is an alumnus of Poly. I was wondering,
Okay.
Tatiana, we did a live chat just a couple of weeks ago about a music director there who passed away, and we got to talking about the music program at Poly. I'm curious, how important was that program in your own development as a musician?
First off, just wanted to touch a little bit about Mr. Osmond, who unfortunately passed away. He was quite honestly one of the biggest influences in my life. And I come to say that because when I entered Long Beach Poly, I had somewhat of a strong background for music, but I wanted to play jazz, I wanted to play funk, I wanted to play everything else but classical music. But he honestly showed me the importance of a strong foundation. He really challenged me to be the musician that I am today. My senior year, because of him, I had my first concerto senior solo. And in high school terms, that's like the big times. That's the
Yeah.
biggest achievement as a
Mhm.
classical musician you could get at school, is to be selected to perform a senior solo. And because of him and his hard work and dedication, I've definitely um, seen myself grow and realize that it doesn't matter like who I am. And as being not only a person of color but a female, it's really tough to try to like infiltrate and stand out in a business in like the jazz world that's often dominated by male figures. And through quarantine, I've had, sometimes I go live and play my instrument. I've had girls and like other people reach out to me like, hey, I like what you're doing, keep doing that. And that's really given me the drive to continue pursuing what I'm doing. And just to touch a little bit about my quartet, the Tatiana Tate Quartet is honestly a collective. If you ever see any of my performances, you notice there's never the same band twice. And I pride myself in including all the musicians that I've met over time and always having a good time. Like from my the performance I just did for Uptown Jazz Festival, my pianist, Alex Flavel, we actually played on a similar gig 2 or 3 years ago, and then I hit him up, we meet up again, and we just have a good time. So that's just a little bit on my process.
Yes.
And honestly, my writing process has often been inspired on the happiest moments of my life. I definitely think since quarantine started, we took for granted being outside and just being with one another and enjoying one's company. So my music is all just about
Yes.
having fun and reminiscing on those good times, so we can just appreciate being alive. So that's what's most
Tatiana,
important to me.
Tatiana is not only part of a quartet, it's her quartet. And obviously, all the musicians play. She's doing this while she's a full-time student at Cal State Fullerton, by the way. So I'm just curious, Tatiana, what have your days been like? Here you have a band that you not only play with, but I imagine you have to manage and do things with it. I know you have some representation. Shout out Mr. Tony. But you got that. And you told me before, you said like, for you, it feels like the professors think like, these kids got nothing else to do, so we'll just give them tons of work. What's your days been like as a musician slash student?
If I'm gonna be completely 1,000% honest, I'm going to school. I'm working full time. I have to build my home studio because the jobs are coming in. But for me to drive all the way just to get to a studio versus me in the comfort of my own home, recording those two little horn lines and sending it in. Honestly, I'm a little stressed, but in order to grow and to change, you have to go through the pain. So I know that overall I will come out as a better person. So I'm a little stressed, but it's like a good, healthy stress that I know it's going to make me into a better person and a better musician. So.
What are people going to hear from the quartet during the festival?
What are people going to hear? Honestly, they're going to hear my favorite songs, honestly, because it's my quartet. And honestly, we're just going to hear.
That's where the collective ends.
And my dad.
I got 7 people. I didn't get to pick the songs.
Yeah, and they're gonna hear just a little bit of me. My dad definitely chose some songs that I believe, represent my personality and who I am as a person, and just the ability to like change it up. We're gonna play a little bit on Miles Davis, but change it up the way I want it and how I see it, and honestly, just having a good time. Because all the people who become a part of the Tatiana Tate, I don't even want to call it a quartet, just like Tatiana Tate universe, because all these musicians just come on in and just have a really good time. You all can be a part of it if you want to. And in the future, I have some new characters to add to my little quartet. So it's going to be really interesting in the next couple of months. I'm working on my EP now that I have my little home studio. I invested into all my equipment, working to get all the money. So I don't know. I have big plans, and I'm really excited to share with everyone all the things that I've been working on.
Tatiana, tell your merch person, Tatiana Tate Universe, that's the t-shirt. Get it. That'll be without a word. Hey, Scott, I want to talk to you because Boxcar 7 has been well known as a band that can play a lot of great covers, make them your own. But you told me that more recently you guys have started to write more of your own music too, and you perform both. I'm just curious, what's the kind of difference, or what distinguishes taking someone's song and making it a Boxcar 7 song, as opposed to just starting the process right from the start, writing it yourself and then producing it?
First of all, I just want to say when they make the Tatiana Tate Universe t-shirts, make sure you make one that fits on your refrigerator, and then I'll take that one. Because, I'm a refrigerator with a head. It's gratifying when somebody grooves on something that you did. I was in original bands exclusively before Boxcar 7. And when we put this together, it was just like a one-off. Hey, you know what would be fun? And let's do like a little kind of Commitments, Blues Brothers kind of thing. And it'll just be fun. It'll just be something to do. So we did. And then like the guitar player of the punk band that I was in, it was a gigging band, y'all. He got in a snit and then he broke up with us on a telephone. Like, it was a bad scene. So I looked up and I said, well, okay, obviously this is the thing that you want me to do, which is good because I wasn't really that mad anymore. So the punk rock was kind of, what I say about, be true to yourself above all things. Well, maybe I didn't say that, but
Shakespeare might have been the one, but go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not trying to take credit for that. Be true to yourself. And so since I've become more of a creature of love, I'm a girl dad, I got to think about the love component before I think about anything else, because I have to, like I said, I'm a refrigerator with a head. So if I'm, being, that's, I don't wish that upon any of y'all, let alone little people, So it has to be all about, coming from a place of love. I can love what my brother wrote, what I wrote, or, an Otis song just the same. If it's real, it moves me. And if it moves me, then hopefully it moves you too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I want
Did
to
I answer that question?
You answered that question. Hey, listen, we're already at an end here. This has been awesome. I just want to point out that on Sunday, the festival begins at 3. You can actually go to North Long Beach, and a lot of the restaurants are participating in this. They'll give you 10% off. You can get takeout. I guess you can get delivery and all that kind of stuff. So get some food, help out the restaurant, sit, watch Philosophy, watch Boxcar 7, watch Tatiana. It'll be a great day. I want to thank Scott. I want to thank Philosophy. I want to thank Tatiana. Tatiana, can I ask you to play us out the way you played us in? I ask a lot. Please. Can you?
Sure, why not?
All right, why not? Hey, thanks everybody. See you tomorrow. Tatiana, it's all yours.
See y'all Sunday. Peace out. Stay safe. Love you, Long Beach.